Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like we have a skin tag pandemic. If I look around, I see way more people than I used to before with skin tags. And I don't know whether it's the same in your environment. If you look around, it's so easy to see people with skin tags these days, be it old, young, male, female, but I think mostly females. And I did a little bit of research. I didn't just rely on what I'm seeing in my environment. And of a fact, it is reported that there's an increase in the rate of people with skin tag, and the data is not so accurate because skin tag is one of those issues that are not too serious, so people don't really go to the hospital because they have a skin tag. And it's mostly a cosmetic issue because it is a non-cancerous growth on the skin. Among the people that see the need to see their dermatologist over the issue, there seems to be a rise in the number of such people lately. Normally, skin tag is something that is common with people within the ages of 40 and above, but lately you'll see people of different age groups with skin tags. And unfortunately, I happen to be among those statistics. As a matter of fact, I saw my first skin tag when I was still a teenager. So now it's been over a decade of me having skin tag. And that time when I first had my skin tag, I was like the only young person I knew with skin tag. Of course, I've seen elderly people with skin tags then, but as a teenager, I think I was 19. I think I was the only one. And maybe that wasn't my first skin tag. Maybe it was the first I noticed because it was right in front of my face, like literally. It was right here. And over time, it grew taller and taller, and I just scratched it. I pulled it out, and you're not advised to do so, okay? It not bleed, it not do any much damage. It has healed, but there's another one growing in its place or close to it. Yeah, not really directly from where that one came from, but very close to it, there's another one growing. And some people think that skin tag, if you remove it, then more will grow. But research has shown that that's not the case. Although another one is growing right beside it, that's not because I removed the first one. Because skin tag is not infectious. It doesn't spread like that. Okay. So let's have this discussion because I feel like there are so many misconceptions about skin tags. And is it something you should worry about? Is there something you should do? Is it your body telling you something? That's what we're here to discuss in today's podcast. So, welcome to today's podcast, dear lovely fellow. My name Blessing Wash, and let's have this discussion. Okay, skin tag, as I said, is a non-cancerous skin growth, right? And it's not a bother except if you are very peculiar about your personal appearance and your aesthetics. But is there something deeper to it? Is it just a minor cosmetic inconvenience? Not at all. For a long time, as I said, I've had skin tag and I didn't really know much about it until recently, like few years ago, that I started researching about health and other stuff, that I got to realize that all this while it was my body trying to tell me something. Because even after removing the first one, other ones were still growing. Okay. And I watched a video. There was one YouTuber that I loved watching. She's a twin, and is it Miss Mary Natural or something? She removed hers a while ago. The appropriate way, she went to the hospital and they used lasers, I believe, to remove it. And someone in the comment section was like, this is all a waste. It's all going to come back. Like once you touch it, it's going to come back again. And there are so many people with that mindset. I'm here to tell you that that's not the case. You remove it, another one grows. It's not because you removed the previous one. It is growing because you've removed the result without removing what caused the result. Skin tag is something your body is trying to tell you, and you just getting rid of the skin tag will not get rid of what caused it. And that's why it's going to reoccur again, except you take note of what your body is telling you and you do something about it. And that's why we're having this discussion. So you know what to do about it instead of just putting bandage on the wound and leaving it to rot or get worse. Instead of just covering the mess and moving on with your life. Let's go into the deep root cause of the mess in the first place. So what causes skin tag? Skin tag generally occurs as a result of the presence of growth receptors on our skin. And some people have more growth receptors on their skin than others. So those people that have more growth receptors on their skin are more likely to have or to develop skin tag along the way in their lifetime. And what triggers it is not just the presence of the growth receptors, but there's something that has to trigger it, and it's either metabolic or mechanical. So if it's mechanical, it's just as a result of friction. So skin tag, you'll see it growing somewhere around the armpit or on the face. But if it's growing around the armpit or your neck, it's mostly as a result of friction that's happening because of your clothes, right? But on the face, I don't think there's much friction there. And so why it happens on the face is as a result of the metabolic trigger. And what triggers it metabolically is insulin resistance and sometimes estrogen dominance. Well, it's a vicious cycle, right? Insulin resistance can now cause estrogen dominance, but sometimes things like pregnancy can just cause a rise in a person's estrogen levels, and then you see the woman developing skin tags all of a sudden. So if you're a pregnant woman or you were pregnant before and all of a sudden you saw skin tags, yes, your culprit, estrogen. But I was 19 then and I had skin tag. I wasn't pregnant, and up to now I've never been pregnant. So why do I have skin tag? Insulin resistance. I remember there was a time I went to test my fasting blood sugar. I was 17. And to my surprise, I think I was 17 when I did that, right? I'm not sure, but I was still a teenager. And before even the skin tag came out, so I went for a fasting blood sugar test for the first time. And when I did it, my result was 7. And based on that particular machine that they use to test, 7 is high. Okay, it's not supposed to be 7 for a teenager. No. But that was my result. And that time I was really on carbohydrates. I eat maize a lot, things made with maize. If you are from central Nigeria, you know that tuwo masara is a thing, is a staple. I'm being run by tribes, so we do gote masara, and so like a lot of carbs apart from maize. Then we have yam. If there's no maize you're eating, it's yam porridge, pounded yam, just starchy things all around. And let's not even talk about the added sugar that we put in our pap. You're drinking pap with fried yam or fried potatoes, and then you're adding sugar to it. That is a good recipe for insulin resistance. And don't be mistaken, you may be insulin resistant without being diabetic. That's a fact. There's a research that shows a relationship between type 2 diabetes and skin tag, but it's not every patient with type 2 diabetes that has skin tag. Going back to the growth receptors that I talked about initially. So some people naturally have fewer growth receptors on their skin than others. So if you're one of them, even if you have type 2 diabetes that stems from insulin resistance, because when insulin resistance proceeds to another level, it now metamorphoses into type 2 diabetes. And so you may have type 2 diabetes and still not have skin tag because you don't have too much growth receptors on your skin. And you may be someone without type 2 diabetes and still have skin tag on your skin just because you are insulin resistant. So insulin is one of those hormones that promotes growth. So also estrogen, like typical example, if a woman is pregnant, a fetus is growing inside her, so estrogen increases because growth needs to take place. Something is developing. So the presence of estrogen there leads to that growth. So estrogen promotes growth, insulin promotes growth. And when there's too much insulin in the blood as a result of high blood sugar levels, then these growth receptors on your skin get triggered by the excess insulin that's in the blood system, and then it begins to grow skin tags. And sometimes it may not even be insulin resistance, but you'll still have skin tag because of friction. But those type of skin tags appear mostly on the neck or in the armpits because those are the places of friction. But when you start seeing it on your face and places that there are no friction, just know that it's my dear, insulin resistance, unfortunately. And I've seen so many people try to fix this externally only. Don't be like me. Don't just go about plugging them with your hand, because you can wound yourself and then you expose yourself to infection, right? You can be like the other influencer that went and got them removed the right way, but please don't stop at that because it will go back. You've only removed the result without removing what caused the result in the first place. And so how can you deal with skin tag the right way? As a matter of fact, before we can know how to treat skin tag the right way, we need to realize how we got here. I told you how I got here, right? A little bit of how I got here because I was eating a lot of carbohydrates. That was my staple food on a daily basis. I was never a meat person, and economically, my background is not one that will support like me eating so much protein because protein is very expensive. Meat is expensive, right? So we found ourselves eating a lot of carbohydrate, and some people handle carbohydrate better than others. There's a lot into that I cannot really cover on this episode of the podcast, but it is what it is. So how is our lifestyle promoting this rapid growth in the rate of people with skin tags? Why is it that there are young people with skin tags in this generation? Why is it that it's no longer the thing of the 40 and above? Well, we eat a lot of carbohydrates. A lot of people eat a lot of carbohydrates like me. Well, that's in the past, right? And our sedentary lifestyle is not even helping issues. It is not helping issues. In this generation, we figured out a way to defy the law of physics. According to physics, work cannot take place except there's a distance covered, right? If there's no distance covered, work has not taken place. But in this generation, someone can stay in one place for hours working without moving an inch, and they're working. So in one way they are working, in another way they are not. So as a result of that, they're stagnant in one place. They're not using up the energy they have gotten from the food and the carbohydrate they have eaten because, oh boy, do we really consume carbohydrates. We drink sodas, we add sugar to our teas, and a lot of fast foods. We eat a lot of junk foods, and so much carbohydrate entering into the body while we're still in one place working, not really going about. So physics will say you've not done any work, but you're already stressed. You've been working all day long for hours in one place. So that lifestyle has led us to this point where we're seeing a lot of people with skin tags. Young people like me with skin tags. We have to change it. We have to get to the root cause of it, not just handle it aesthetically, like just go to the dermatologist to fix it. No, you have to fix your lifestyle because we have different genetic makeup, but then how come all of us are affected with this one thing, skin tag? It's a proof that it's our lifestyle that is the cause, because we have almost the same lifestyle, all of us, a sedentary one, and that has led to the rise in the number of people with skin tags. And so in order to effectively deal with this skin tag, we need to mind what we eat, how we eat it, the time we eat it, and what we do after we eat it. So make sure that you eat a balanced diet. Don't just eat only carbs. It should not be just carbs on your plate. And how that's what you eat, right? So now how you eat it, don't start with the rice. When you have a bowl of jollof rice and chicken, with a little bit of salad by the side. Don't start with the rice. I said earlier that I wasn't really a protein or meat kind of person. But now, when you give me a bowl of jollof rice, I start with the meat. I start with the meat, I go straight into it. And some people will think that, oh my goodness, this girl is really a meat person. No, of course, my appetite for meat has increased lately because of how important I now know protein to be. But even if you're not a meat eater, maybe a vegetarian, just eat the beans first. Eat the protein first. That's just the main point of that I'm trying to make. That's the main point here. Eat the protein first. So me, someone that eats meat, I go for the meat first. I eat my salad. So eat your veggies, eat your proteins, and then the carb should be last. This two that you've eaten first before the carb, the vegetable, that's the salad, and the protein you've eaten first will serve as a cushion before the carb will not enter into your bloodstream. Like when you eat them, digestion is taking place. Like it will serve as a buffer. Your blood sugar will not just spike very high. And the issue of that spike, that's the problem. The spike in the blood sugar is the issue. You want it to be moving gradually, not like high spike and then it will not crash, because the high spike will lead to a crash. Why it leads to a crash is because your body will have to produce a lot of insulin to be able to get rid of that blood sugar, that sugar in the blood. So the pancreas produces insulin so as to enable your cells receive the sugar that's in your blood. Sugar is not supposed to stay in your blood. When it stays in your blood for long, it causes a lot of issues in the body. And so it's your muscles, it's your cells that need energy. So they need to open up and receive the sugar, right? But on their own, they can't. They need a key to open them up, and insulin is the key. So your pancreas releases insulin so as to open the cells for the sugar to enter. And then when there's so much sugar, that means your pancreas will have to produce a lot of insulin to do that. And when it pumps out so much insulin, you now have high insulin levels in your blood. And so as to open the doors quickly, right? And as it is opening the doors, all the sugar will enter and then you'll now get that crash. That's how the crash comes about. And as a result of that constant release of so much insulin, at a point your body gets weak. Let's say you have a lock, right? Padlock, and you're constantly opening it, opening it every minute. You're playing with the key inside, you're opening it. That padlock stands the risk of getting spoiled. It's the same thing. Insulin is the key, always opening the cell so that sugar will enter. The more frequently it does that, your body will now become insulin resistant. The key will no longer be able to open the padlock at some point. The padlock has spoiled. It's also like staying close to a speaker. If you're sitting next to a speaker in church and the speaker is very loud, because the speaker is so loud, if somebody is speaking on with a normal tone, you'll not be able to hear them. The person has to shout. Now you are resistant to normal voice level. The person has to shout before you hear it. So it's almost the same thing with this insulin case. You're eating sugar all the time. We're eating and snacking every time. We're not just restricted to 3 square meals. Again, we have a lot of snacks in between. So always your blood sugar is increasing. There's always sugar in your blood, Insulin has to be released all the time. It has to be released all the time. And now the padlock is being opened all the time. Very soon the padlock would spoil and the key will not be able to open it. And boom, you have insulin resistance. I hope I've not taken some of it to the bush. All right. So stay with me. Okay. I'm not getting too deep. And then because there's so much insulin in the blood, remember insulin promotes growth. Then now the growth receptors on your skin, they'll start growing and you now start seeing skin tags. So if you're now eating fiber in your vegetables, because vegetables have fiber, it will reduce the spike in the blood sugar. Like the sugar will not rush into the bloodstream to cause that spike that will now cause so much release of insulin. So the sugar will be entering gradually. And I said what you eat, how you eat it, and what you do after you eat it, right? So After you eat, like 15 minutes after you eat, you're supposed to walk around, because apart from insulin that is needed to open the cells so that sugar will enter, exercise is another way your muscles absorb the sugar in your blood without insulin. So if you want to bypass that need for your pancreas to release so much insulin that will later result to skin tag, you can just move around after you eat. Let's say 15 minutes after you eat, or maybe 10 minutes after you eat, depending on what you eat. If you know it's a very like plain carb, of which I've advised you not to eat, but just in case you end up eating something that's strictly carbohydrate, then maybe I'll advise you start the exercise as early as possible, because you don't have any cushion to serve as a buffer to the carbohydrate. It's plain carb. And so you need to start moving around. But even if you eat the vegetables that have fiber and if eating the protein, still is advisable to move around. It will help a lot. Your muscles will just absorb the sugar. They are moving, they need energy. Okay, so the more muscles you have, the more energy they're going to absorb. So if you want to reduce your risk of insulin resistance, then you need to go to the gym or just do strain like body weights at home if you don't have access to the gym. And then, like me, I've never been to the gym. All my exercise has been at home, and they are good. Okay, they are good. I told me there are a lot of exercises you can do at home with your body weight. So body weight type of exercises, they develop the muscles a lot, and the more muscles you have, the better you are at absorbing the sugar that's in your blood without relying so much on insulin. And that's how you help your body to not continue producing the skin tags that are reducing your states. Okay. So even if you're working a remote job that you have to lock in ungodly amount of hours, while you're eating, you can hold your laptop on your hand and be moving around a little bit, just put in the steps and then do some squats in between and then sit down and continue with your work. You've helped yourself a lot. One thing that's common that goes along with skin tag is dark underarm and inner thigh. They work hand in hand because they are caused by the same culprits. They are brothers and sisters of the same parent, basically. So hormonal imbalance, be it estrogen that's off or insulin is off, insulin resistance, estrogen dominance, whatever, any one of the two can really cause dark inner thigh and underarm. And I watched one TikTok video and the influencer was complaining that her underarm is dark and she promised them she has done everything. It's not as if it's dirt. She wiped it in front of them and she showed them that it's not dirt. It's not dust, because that's another misconception people have. They think that a dark underarm means the person is dirty. It's not physical dirt, okay? It's not physical dirt. And so she was saying that she has wiped it off. She's not dirty. It's just, and she has even used bleaching creams. And there are a lot of ladies that use bleaching creams because of the judgment that comes with dark underarm. And I've seen so many companies take advantage of that insecurity. There's a particular company right now promoting their products on YouTube, claiming that it treats dark underarm, and some ladies are sharing, real ladies are sharing their stories, and they're saying how this particular product has helped them overcome their insecurity of dark underarm. Anytime that ad comes up, I roll my eyes. I'm like, you don't treat that externally. Even if you successfully treat it externally, it's still going to just come back. And so you have to be dependent on that particular product because it's not really taking care of the root cause. The root cause is insulin resistance. The root cause is estrogen dominance, because insulin resistance will lead to estrogen dominance at the end of the day. Your liver will be too busy dealing with insulin that it will not prioritize clearing out your excess estrogen out of your body. Used up estrogen will not be cleared out of your body as they're supposed to. It will just be piling up there, and at the end of the day, you'll now have estrogen dominance. There's so much into that I will not be able to get into it in this video, but You get what I'm saying? They work hand in hand. And so, in order for you to successfully deal with that, because don't be like that influencer, she was using bleaching cream, and so many other influencers that I've come across, they use bleaching creams, and some of them testify to the fact that it causes stretch marks at the end of the day because the skin in that place will be super light and then stretch marks will start coming up. That's not what you want. You want to treat it the right way. Deal with insulin resistance, and your dark underarm, your dark inner thigh will disappear on its own. Not really on its own because you're actually doing the work, you're getting to the root cause of it, but without even stressing yourself using bleaching cream or anything, you will see it getting better over time. And so I hope if you're someone that's suffering from either skin tag or dark underarm, dark inner thigh, you've learned something in this video that will help you. You're going to eat your food right. Start with vegetables, proteins, and then your carbs. And you're going to exercise and move around more after you eat. Okay. And you're going to prioritize building up muscles in the right places so as to help you absorb the sugar in your blood without necessarily relying so much on insulin. And if you've enjoyed this and if you've learned something from this, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with someone you think will find this helpful or useful, and then subscribe so you don't miss out on my subsequent uploads. And in case you're interested in health related things like this, please let me know in the comment section so I can bring another session about health stuff your way very soon. But until next time, why only succeed when you can thrive? Bye bye.